this is Ambi from Board Game Blitz, and today I'm going to talk about my board game stats and highlights from the month of February. But first I'm going to talk about our acquisitions in February, which weren't that many by count, but by volume it's a lot. So, friend of a friend gave this as a hand-me-down. This is Hunt a Killer. I've gotten a couple of review copies of Hunt a Killer of their box sets, which look more like this. And this is like a murder mystery game. But I don't have that one. And then they have like a subscription service or something that I guess my friend's friend got. And so hand me down of this. And then I will probably do this and then give them away to other people. So yeah, that's a big acquisition. And then I got a review copy, top tier. I haven't played this yet, but this is a party game, a cooperative party game about ranking things. And then we bought from our FLGS Disney animated cooperative game that about like being a Disney animator, and it has like transparent cards with like the animations on it, or like the drawings on it, kind of like the cell shading animation, which is kind of cool. I want to play the game because I love Disney and I like the theme of this. That was it for acquisitions. Now onto the stats. I log plays using the app BG Stats, which links to Board Game Geek. In February, I had 35 plays of 15 different games. 8 were new to me. I don't think I had too many highlights in February. I guess Bomb Busters again was another highlight, which I've already mentioned many times. I played 9 plays of that. But one new to me game that I played with my kids, a lot of my highlights this month were with my kids, I think. But one was Zombie Kidz Evolution, which I think I mentioned that we bought last month. But we played it 8 times so far. And this is a cooperative game where you are like at a school and you're trying to prevent the zombies from getting in. So you're defeating zombies and then also like putting locks on the gates. So it's pretty basic rules for the first game, but then you're slowly unlocking things. And it's a legacy game. And so the game evolves and you add stickers and rules and stuff. And so like people get powers and things. But my kids are really enjoying it and I'm enjoying it. This is the first game that we played like multiple times with the whole family. And it's nice and short, so it's great for my kids' attention span. But yeah, I'm really enjoying Zombie Kidz. And then my kids already want to get Zombie Teens because they don't like the art of the zombies that much. They don't like these zombies. Some of the zombies they say are too scary, so they don't like looking at them. But then they saw the art for Zombie Teens in like a little flyer, and they're like, oh, I want that one. So yeah, we're probably gonna get that when we finish Zombie Kidz. Another couple of new games I played with my kids were review copies from Chip Theory Games. They have the Chip Theory Kids pack, like a versus play Chip Theory Kids line. But I got all 3 games of theirs as review copies, and we played Bear in Mind and Octo Grabbo with both my kids. So Bear in Mind is a memory game. It felt kind of like a super easy competitive Wilmot's Warehouse. So there are these story cards with pictures on them and then like tiles with other pictures on them, and you're putting the tiles face down, but you're just telling a story and matching it up with one of the background tiles. And so you say like a story and then that tile goes face down and you put all the tiles down, or not all the tiles, but like you fill up all the spots. And then you take turns moving the bear around by rolling a die, and then you have to remember what that tile was. And if you do correctly, then you get that tile and you put another tile there. So you're kind of telling stories to remember stuff. This is the first time that my kids are actually doing better at memory than I was. I remembered a lot of it, but then something I would forget. And then both of my kids were like, oh, that was the acorn or something. Like, oh, yes, good job. Because they remember the whole story. So that was pretty neat, because I think when they played other memory games, when it's just like an icon or something, they don't relate to that as much and they don't feel the need to memorize. But with the story, they are really good at remembering the story that they're making up. So that was neat playing that with them, and I think they enjoyed it. And then Octo Grabbo is a dexterity game. We played like the kids version. There's also a more advanced version that's actual real time and speed, but the beginner version is just turn-based, and you pick up a piece with chopsticks and you're putting it on your plate, and if you drop it you can pick it back up again, so there's no like losing it. It's kind of more like a here fishy, you're just rolling a die to see what piece you pick up with chopstick and put it on your plate, and you want to fill up your plate. My kids aren't good with chopsticks, but they have these little octopus chopstick holders that help the kids, so like holds it together, and then it's more like tweezers instead of chopsticks. So it was cool. They got a lot better throughout the course of like the 7-minute game. Then some non-kids games. I talked about Time Division, which was a review copy on the podcast, and I also talked about Dorf Romantic, the board game, on the podcast. But one new to me game that was a highlight was Slay the Spire, the board game. I might talk about this on the podcast. I haven't recorded it yet, but Slay the Spire, the board game, is based on the video game, which I have not played because I don't like board game video games or like roguelikes or card games, but it's like a deck building card game roguelike. So in the board game, it's cooperative. You all have different characters with a special deck, and the cards each have like different things that they'll do. So it's like this can do 2 attack or 1 attack, and this does a block. And so basically there's attacks and blocks, and they're doing damage to enemies, and there's enemy cards that come out and they have different things that they'll do depending on the roll of the dice. So you'll be spending energy to play cards, and then you're all hitting the monsters, and the monsters will do their turn and attack, and then you'll draw new cards and keep doing that. But between rounds of killing monsters, you can upgrade cards and stuff, and there's like different paths that you can take on this map thing. So like there's a monster battle, and then maybe you'll go to a campfire and upgrade cards or heal, or then maybe you can like go to the store and buy new cards. And so you're like building up your deck and make it good for future battles. And so we just played one, I forget what it's called, but there's like 3 total in a whole game campaign, but we played one of them and I enjoyed it. Like I had a character where it can add poison to things, and I like got a special card early on that adds poison to each attack. So then when I was upgrading cards and getting new cards, I was picking ones that do like lots of small attacks instead of like a big attack. And so like each attack added poison, and that comboed really well. So it was cool building up that deck and comboing it well. It did feel like we were kind of each doing our own individual thing. So it wasn't like we played 4 players and it felt like maybe it's not the best at 4 players because we're not really like cooperating much with the other players. For some of the fights, we did a little bit, but like most of the time it didn't. So maybe in future, I think they're called acts. If we kept continuing through the campaign, maybe it would get more cooperative. But I think with a lot of deck building cooperative card games that I've played, it feels kind of like that. But I like the building up of stuff, and I think it would be a cool like solo or 2-player game. Yeah, but that was my friend, so I don't know if I'll ever play it again. All right, so that's it for my February recap. Let me know what games you played in February and what your highlights were. It was a short month, but hopefully you still got some good gaming in. If you like this video, make sure to click the like button. And if you really like us a lot and want to support us, then you can support us on Ko-fi and you can get your name in the credits here. Thanks for watching Board Game Blitz. Bye.